everybody? Welcome back. Episode 18, Big Time Auto Racing. Boy, do we have a special episode. As you can see, if you're watching on the YouTube device, we have Mr. Andrew Grady here with us, alongside myself, Dylon Wilson, and Brandon Pierce. Brandon and Andrew both just raced the Cars Tour, Kevin Says Yes.com 125 at Southern National, and obviously we got them here to talk about it. It was an interesting weekend for both of these guys, so they have, I'm sure you guys are just oozing out the mouth to just talk about a lot of stuff, so can't wait to get to all that. But before we get into the race, we also have a rating system we're going to be going through, a lot of stuff like that. So, and then also I want to hear some more about like how the tires reacted this week and all that good stuff, because this was kind of the first, obviously it's the first race of the year for the late model stock guys. So, it was a bit of a, what's the word for it? It was kind of the first test of these tires that everybody's been coming up with these theories and questions all year long about how fast it's going to be and all that. But now the questions are answered. Boys, how was the damn weekend for y'all?
Go ahead, Brandon. You start off.
Yeah, man. So Andrew and myself, like you said, he's going to have he had a much more interesting weekend than I did. Yeah. Ours ended fairly similar, but it was good to be back. Always, I know it's a home track for Andrew, but
first of all, it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday race.
Yeah.
So let's start off with that. What is y'all's thoughts on Sunday races for late models? What's the vibe there? Do you feel like shit going into it, or are you pretty happy about it? Me personally, I feel like shit. So I just want to see how y'all feel about it.
Pretty much, I hated it, man. I'd been there since Tuesday, which is only an hour from the house, not a big deal. But I was driving from Mitchell Moat during Speed Weeks, and I was there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and it was, it was rough, but I do appreciate the Cars Tour realizing how much rain was coming and going ahead and saying, hey, boys, look, we're not going to bring you in. We're not going to have you sit out here all day and cancel the race. We're going to go ahead and cancel it and just move it to Sunday, which, kudos to them for doing it last year at Hicory, Brandon. Guys, everybody was here. Like, we sat there all day long, and I think they listened to everybody about it, because there was a lot of very upset people after Hicory. Yeah. And I think they made the right call. It kind of sucked having to be there next day with hotel rooms and stuff for guys, but it was worth it. And I think the racing was actually pretty good.
Yeah. No doubt. How about you, Brandon? Are you a Sunday racer? Are you a Sunday kind of guy, or what?
Yeah. I think it just kind of depends on where it's at. Like, like Andrew said, and all of us, me and you even talked about it previewing the weekend, everybody knew rain was coming. So, I definitely commend them for making the early call. Obviously, all of us, live different areas and whatnot. So like Andrew said, some people extra night in a hotel. Some of you, if you're close enough, it was just a day spent at home on Saturday. So just commend them for making the right call, and glad it was able to work out. Some places we go, you can't race on Sunday, or, just other variables. So I think for all of us involved, being able to do it Sunday and still get it in with having New River, not this weekend, but next weekend, was nice. So we didn't have back-to-backs right off the bat.
Yeah, it's always good to get the year started off. Sunday's a little weird. Like I said, I don't typically enjoy racing on Sundays, and like guys like Andrew was there all week, so obviously a tough grind to start the year off, especially for yourself, for sure. But with that being said, perfect time to get into the ratings to dissect this year's version of Southern National Motorsports Park. So we're gonna jump right into that. Okay, so this year, like we said, we have a new rating scale. 5 different categories again, and it's a 1 to 10 scale. This year, the categories are fun factor, track atmosphere, facilities, bathrooms and concessions, and then surrounding area. So 5 categories that we feel like is a pretty fair assessment on each racetrack. Now, obviously, this is a kind of dedicated to a touring division racetrack. Some racetracks will falter because they are not set up for the tour, right? If we go to Franklin County, they're not going to get a great score, right? But you might have a great time there, right? 5 years ago, Wake County would have got a bad score,
Yeah, you're right, 100%.
And Hicory even, it did get a bad score last year because it's not that nice of a facility. It's just a badass racetrack, right? So,
right.
At least depending on who you ask. Anyways, back to the rating scale. This weekend we was at Southern National Motorsports Park. So I'm going to let Brandon do the first rating of the year. The first time ever we've rated a fun factor at a racetrack. Now, what this is, obviously, is speaks for itself. How fun it was to race there. Could you pass? Was there a lot of strategy involved? Did you just have a good time? Was it a fun race? I know, your circumstance, Brandon, Andrew, was a little bit different, and I'll get into that. But Brandon, what'd you feel like 1 to 10?
Yeah, man. So obviously, as everybody knows, I've won there before, so I'm always a little biased. So it's always nice to go back there, and even more so when you can run good. And so, luckily enough for us this weekend, we were, even with the end result not being the fact. So we had come all the way from 27th to about 13th when we got wrecked. Went back to 26th and drove back to 16th, even with it all tore up. So to answer your question, I felt like you could pass. All of us were talking about it before we come on air. The top never really came in. But I still, just with all the banking there and everything, and even with it being wore out, I think it's a finesse place. So that makes it fun for us as drivers to have to drive it. It's not a high grip place. So for me, I gave it an 8 because I had fun and I was able to pass cars, and I felt like it wasn't necessarily you had to punt the guy. We all know that still happened. It's going to happen every week. But I touched one car coming up through the field from 27th to 13th. So you don't have to do it, So, but I had fun, and that's why I gave it 8.
Solid 8. Andrew, you've put in some time at Southern National over the years, and you've won some races there. So what do you got on the fun factor, 1 to 10?
Man, I've got a couple million laps around that place. Like Brandon said, the top never came in, but I felt like the racing was still really good. So I'll give it a 7. The top not coming in kind of changed the dynamic of the race. The guys were fighting so hard to get back down on these restarts. And I'm honestly surprised there wasn't more cautions than there was. There were some very sketchy moments. But like Brandon said, it's fast. It's a lot of banking. It takes a lot of finesse. That place is way more wore out now than it has been in like the last 4 years. It's become super abrasive.
Yeah.
Got to be very mindful of that right rear. And, before we get into the topic of the tire, I enjoyed it, man. It put a lot back in the driver's hands. You actually had to set people up. You had to save, but you could also go on the tire a little bit. And I really enjoyed it. So a solid 7 for me.
Nice. So 8 and a 7 on fun factor. So good start here for Southern National. Now, up next we got track atmosphere. So this is a new one for this season. This one is fan turnout. Events, promotions, track side, all that good stuff. Obviously, Southern National had a lot going on the week leading up to this race. So, Brandon, we'll start off with you again. How did you feel about track atmosphere?
Yeah, so anybody that follows us knows that me and Dylon are big on places that offer trackside parking. So that right there is already going to elevate your score, which obviously Southern National does. And I think
surprisingly
also,
so. Again, I was surprised last year at it. I didn't really realize how much trackside they had there, and it's pretty damn impressive.
Right. And one thing I'll say about, Mason and Michael is that they, or at least every time I've been there, unless weather was poor, the trackside spots are normally sold out. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's just so unique because of all the banking. You're really looking down on the action. If your spot is over there in 1 and 2, you can see the whole racetrack.
Yeah.
Obviously they did, as we all spoke, Andrew ran Speed Weeks. I thought that was cool. So obviously that gave the track and us as a tour, with the pros being there the week before and then us this past weekend, a lot of extra exposure. And then, there's things you can nitpick everywhere, but I think it's always, it's easy to, it's a nice place to look at. I mean, it's always clean. I feel like they do a good job. It ain't run down. And it always looks nice when you get there. And I thought the crowd was really good too. So, I hate to back it up, but I gave this an 8 as well, because I just felt like everything was pretty solid, in that category.
Yeah, 8. I'd agree with that. Andrew, what'd you have for track atmosphere?
Trackside was sold out, and mostly every local race there is sold out, if not.
You actually, not to precede events here, but you did get to interact a little bit with the trackside. Unfortunately, during the race, I did see that. I don't want to get into those events yet, but you did get to interact, so you do know you do have some input on the trackside.
You had the Grady faithful come and check on me, but we'll get to that later. It was actually, it was pretty packed. It was nice to see not only trackside sold out, but there was butts in them seats, man. Like, fans actually had people in it, and I think that's a testament to Mason and Mike. I mean, Mason taking over, and he's starting to take a much bigger hand in running this racetrack on a local scale, to the car store being there helping them, and man, they did a heck of a job. So I'm gonna give them A solid 8, actually. I'm gonna give them an 8 because, man, they did a hell of a job this weekend. They advertised it well. It was everywhere. It was all over Facebook. Like, they did it right. So
yeah, not to mention the whole, the speed weeks thing, or what do they call it? They call it speed weeks.
Speed weeks, yeah.
Speed weeks,
raced,
yeah. They had speed weeks, so the rain screwed it, but
100%.
The promotions, all that was awesome.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We wound up racing Thursday and Friday, and it was supposed to be a 100-lapper Friday night, but they gave us twin 50s instead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of worked out, but I would really wish the rain would have held off because it would have made stuff so much better with that 100-lapper, I feel like.
Yeah, it'd have been really cool to get to go run all that, and obviously that was good for you to start the season off, to go run that kind of stuff. And I'm assuming that's what Mason and Michael had in mind, to get people down there to start the year off, which I think was a great idea, and hopefully they keep doing it. Maybe next year Mother Nature will be a little less of a total bitch, And
I agree, man.
I'm gonna have to write that timestamp down.
Right, Kinley's kind of like Hicory, but if it's gonna rain somewhere, it's gonna rain there.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, another great score there. So up next we have facilities. So here at Southern National, we're going to go for lighting, the infrastructure, just the eye appeal. I know we talked a little bit about this on the last one, but still the fan turnout and events, all that stuff kind of spoke for itself on track atmosphere. The facilities is the actual facilities. So lighting, infrastructure, the overall eye appeal, the wall colors, everything, the paint. Infield, elbow room, pit row, all that kind of factor in to one big score. I know that's not totally fair, but it all kind of falls in the same category. So what do you got there, Brandon? 1 to 10.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I've got 888s to start out. I mean, it's the infield there's nice. Everything's spread out. The pits are full this weekend, 34 late models, but everybody still had plenty of room. Like I said, it's always well kept. They, at least, I guess, and Andrew maybe will correct me on this. I know they paved the top, which we don't get up there, but it still looks nice. I mean, I think that adds to the racetrack. And then I think they did pit road, or they sealed it the access road.
Yeah.
So that was, I thought, a nice little touch as well. So everything else pretty much is the same, but like I said, it's never really been run down, and so I gave the facilities overall an 8 as well.
Nice. All right, Andrew. Another 8 for Brandon. What about you on it? The facilities.
It's nice pretty much all around. Pit road's nice. You don't have to worry about breaking a ball joint going down pit road. It's nice, man. Spotter stand, very, very sketchy. They spotted from the stands this weekend.
Okay, yeah, that's something I need to write down for next time, is spotter stands. That's something we didn't.
It's sketchy.
Okay.
It's bad, but I mean, you get, I don't know if you know Lloyd. Lloyd's a big guy. Lloyd's a big boy, and that's 280 pounds of man you got climbing up, swinging on it. And dude, I don't know. That's one thing I don't like about it, but pit road, great. You roll up on it at night, you see it, you pull up, you see the grandstands. It's kind of an intimidating view. The countryside, the racetrack, man. I give it a solid 9 for appearance, and for the racetrack food, good. Everything else, good. A solid 9 for me from all out.
Yeah, good score. Up next, one of our more famous ones from last year. Now, last year we had bathrooms kind of as their own rating, as their own category, and that was not totally fair to some racetracks because it brought down the score so bad for some tracks that you can't. It sucked to be. I mean, this is all a joke. Like we are, most of this we're kidding around. We don't take it to heart if you don't get a great score. But anyways, bathrooms and concessions is now 1 score because they're typically on par with each other, and
I agree.
And they're usually in the same brick building. Or cinder block building most of the time. They're in the same place. Not all tracks, obviously. The nicer tracks aren't. Typically, it's a theme. Anyways, Brandon, how was the Southern National bathroom and concessions?
So, I don't know if Diaz listened to us or not. Obviously, he poked good fun at us last year, because their Southern National was the first track to get rated, and so obviously
we were a bit harsh last year.
Just a touch.
I can see
and he still gave us some love, so it was great. But we have been very vocal, Dylon and myself, about racetracks who can having their concessions open on Friday.
Yeah.
Well, as Andrew, I know, will be able to speak to as well. Southern National this past weekend had their concessions open on Friday, and they were busy.
Okay.
So that jerked my score up a little bit. Obviously, they haven't done anything different with their bathrooms. They're not the nicest bathrooms we go to, but they're not the worst either. So, I don't really have necessarily any complaints there. Like I said, they've been the same ever since I started going there.
Speaking off of pure memory right now, I don't remember any snow-capped shit mountains before the race.
No, yeah.
But
so I didn't run into any this weekend either. So
okay, well that's good news.
I gave bathrooms and concessions a 7. So I did finally try something there. My wife bought the little, I forget what they're called, but the little donuts. They have like a food truck there.
Damn.
Yeah, and so tried those, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I gave it a 7 only, and it would be higher with the concessions. I just did it as far as, like I said, the bathrooms. It's not the nicest. It's not the worst. So I felt like a 7 was a fair score.
Yeah. All right, Andrew. Well, not local, but a more experienced guy there with the cuisine and the shitters. Any snow-capped shit mountains before the race that you put eyes on, or anything like that, or did you try any fine dining while you were there?
I had the donuts. The donuts were fire.
Okay.
So, but now there's a barbecue joint right down the road in Wilson. It's called Parker's. Now, if there's a Parker's truck there, I mean it's insurmountable how much the score goes up. There was not, so it didn't help them out that much. The donuts were great. I didn't eat the other concession stand food just because y'all know this as well. I don't try to eat concession stand food. Just had a bad experience one night at Hicory in 100-degree heat. Not good. Don't ever want to do that again.
Been there.
Bathrooms are pretty good. They're not as bad as Caraway, but they're not as nice as Dominion. So it's still pretty nice. You're not backed up waiting to go to the bathroom for 30 minutes with 45 guys, which is nice. But I'll give it a 6 overall. The donuts were very good though. So major ups for the donut people.
It's a good score. Still a good solid score. Number 5 and the final category for the first rating of the year is the surrounding area. So in other words, just kind of like the food, the nightlife, the hotels. Is there stuff to do around there? Is there some tracks it lines up with a close city, but Southern National is one of those that don't have a whole lot to do. So I'll let you guys take it from here. You guys just got back. Brandon, what'd you give it?
Yeah, man. So we always stay in Smithfield, right there, up from like the outlets, the Carolina Premium outlets, right there. And so I think that's nice, especially for all of us that have wives. That normally is a way to kind of
no buffalo tags.
Them into no buffalo tags this time. We did go. So you know me, I would have dang sure let you know, but we did stay as well, and we've never had a bad experience with the hotels there. And we went and had Japanese at Kobe, we've been there a couple of times and never had a bad experience. So there's obviously nothing really right at the racetrack, but I sometimes think that's nice too, because you can, I think it's cool, like how Andrew said, the countryside. It's nice going there,
I
pulling up on the racetrack.
Buffalo Wild Wings last year, right there at the hotels.
Yeah.
Sucked ass.
She was slammed out hour and a half wait because of the Duke Carolina game, because we initially went to go there.
Oh, damn.
So yeah, but so I gave it a 7. I could probably go higher, but I think just keeping in mind, the surrounding area away from the racetrack's very nice, and the area at the racetrack's nice. There's just nothing there, but it makes for beautiful countryside. So I gave it a 7.
Okay, Andrew, you've been around there a little bit more in your life. I guess you can. I guess Smithfield is it's kind of, what's the other city? It's sort of in between Wilson. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so Wilson and Smithfield, you can kind of combine both of those. How much shit to do there? Right, is kind of I guess your play. But anyway, what would you give it? 1 to 10.
I mean, there's not a whole hell of a lot to do. I mean, there's really not. You got fields, and then you got a McDonald's and a pizza place, and then you go up the interstate towards Smithfield, and you got some restaurants and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it. You got the shopping center, and I mean, man, that's really it. There's nothing to do. If you've got kids and you're traveling on the road, it kind of, I mean, honestly, I hate to say this, it kind of sucks. That's why I'm grateful to be from the area. That's that kind of thing. But I have to give it a 5, man. I just wish there was more stuff in Kinley as far as food, because eating McDonald's 3 days a week, man, that's kind of rough. You know what I mean? Especially on the race. So a 5 for me, but it's still a nice area. It's still super well kept, and I look forward to going every year.
Now, this ain't me asking this question. This is just This ain't me asking it. Is there any gentlemen's establishments down there?
There used to be. There's a
There
place called
is? Okay. That's not me asking. That's just maybe some of our listeners would like to know. And I was just, just purely asking for them. So confirmed there is one down there.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. Bring you some hand sanitizer. You'd be all right.
Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe not hit the Kinley establishment.
No, man, it's a place for spotters. Man, spotters are wild.
Yeah, you got spotters and tire guys.
Tire guys are bad too, man. I think they're some of the ones that'll go find it as soon as I drop it.
They're the ones that make the snow-capped shit mountains in the damn bathrooms the next day too. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Anyways, let's go ahead and do the quick math. Actually, no. Have you gave me a score? Oh yeah, you gave me 5, right? All right. Oh. Average score after all that rating we just did, 7.3. Starting off the year pretty strong. Southern National laid down a 7.3 after Andrew and Brandon just gave them all of our new rating scale. So happy with how everything came out. I think that's a more fair score. I think last year it was like 6.2 or something. It was like ridiculously low. To be fair, we also had phone signal as a category, 5. And it was a -5 again this year.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We was told there was supposed to be fiber internet put in, so I guess the fiber internet people shit the bed or something.
I didn't notice it.
Maybe the rain put it out, or maybe y'all just didn't have the password.
Hey, dude, I've offered Mason $20.
Damn.
Dude, I've been trying for 12 years. Okay, I've won a championship there. I still don't have the damn password.
Yeah, it's tough to get much signal down there for sure, but part of it, still a great racetrack, and 7.3. Sometimes you don't need signal, especially the fans. Y'all don't need signal. The drivers, we kind of need signal sometimes, so we're gonna have to bring some Starlink. We got to put our shit out to the world, that way we can let our sponsors know that we're racing, and otherwise there's no reason to be there. So
right.
That's the world we live in. I know some people say, God, if Dylon would quit bitching about phone signal and media stuff, he'd probably run worth a fuck. Well, if Dylon would quit bitching about phone stuff and media stuff, Dylon would not run at all because he wouldn't have anything to post. So that's my gripe. But I get it. It's not like I'm not going to sit here and bitch about signal the whole time. That's why I took it out of the category. But it does suck when a track doesn't have signal. But sometimes there ain't nothing you can do about it. But hopefully it seemed like he was getting it fixed at some point, so maybe that's coming. At the end of the day, it was a 7.3, so good score. That would put them, I think they're quite a bit higher than they were last year already. So, excited for the future of Southern National. It's a great looking racetrack. The car store doesn't go there anymore this year, but they have a lot more racing throughout this year. They have later in the year they have a lot of big races. Obviously the Thanksgiving Classic, which is 50,000 to win typically, so obviously a big race then. And then what else do they have going on? Typically they have another big race throughout the year. Seems like they used to have
spectacular.
And the Diaz are the type of people that will just put on a big race out of nowhere if nobody else is doing something. So you Southern National is definitely something you want to pay attention to, obviously, and a great facility at that.
They did announce, maybe that's something all three of us should try to go and do. They did announce that in December they're going to have a 25,000 to win legend car race. So I'm expecting there to be about 500 damn legend cars there.
So he said he's capping it at 200 entries. Whether that's true or not, I do not know. But I heard from him he was going to probably cap it at 200. That's a lot of pissed off bumblebees.
Phew.
Like, that's a lot of them things, man. But I think it's cool he's doing it. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe he'll see me pop up in one.
Yeah, that'd be badass. My ass would need a hole cut in the top of it so I could see out the top.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, that would be great to pay attention to. And then, like I just said, there's a ton of racing going on throughout the year at Southern National, and they're the type of people that'll just pop some random events up, sort of like this crazy to win. What was it to win, Southern?
25K.
25K to win Legends car race. So stuff like that pops up pretty often at Southern National. So definitely, pay attention to them. Big shout out to them. 7.3. Good scores, boys. That's great scores. Good job on that. All right. Well, we got the rating done, and now it's time to talk about the races. it was an interesting race. It started off pretty tame, nothing crazy. Carson Quaffle, the eventual winner, was in a little bit of a dust up early, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, when I seen that happen, I was like, game on. Somebody else might win this damn thing. We've definitely got a big player that's out. I was wrong. Once again, just like I was on International North Carolina Sports Betting Week. I've been wrong all damn week. I've got to quit going with my gut on some of these bets. Anyways, going into the race, was 2 lead changes. I'm going to go through some of these stats and before we get into y'all's recap. There was 2 lead changes, but Chad McCumbee on the pole, or not on the pole, was he? Yeah, he was on the pole, and and Brent Cruz was second. He started on the outside, right? For some reason, I was thinking Chad held him off on the top. But anyways, Chad started on the pole. That was not a surprise. He was fast as shit in practice. I think everybody expected Chad to run good. I think me and Brandon talked about it on like Thursday. Like, yeah, Chad McCumbee's fast. He's a couple tenths on everybody. So yeah, that wasn't a surprise to see him set on the pole. I assumed that he went into save mode when Brent Cruz took the lead, and he led from lap 9 to lap 90. So he led for a long time. But in that time period, it was basically just 2 competition caution stretches, right?
Yep.
Pretty tame first couple stretches there, boys, or how'd it feel inside the cars?
Quaffle Monster Truck and Deke at lap 2 was kind of sketchy, man. That about got really big really quick, but I don't know how nobody got run over. But honestly, at that point, I was like, oh, all right, well, 2 of the top guys I had picked are probably screwed. Yeah, that didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Quaffle still won. Once he got the lead, he kind of just chucked the deuces up and checked out on everybody. Deke stayed close for a little while, but honestly, man, I think that damage might have hurt him. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the way he run up on him, it damn sure couldn't have helped anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
It was a tame race. Everybody settled in early, and we kind of just rode. I started 14th, and we kind of picked our way forward, and it was smooth, man, until the restart games came up. And this is something, Brandon, you'll attest to it. This is something that the drivers have discussed within ourselves. Dylan, we talked about it last year, all 3 of us at Hicory. It's something that happens week after week, and it's honestly amazing we haven't wadded up 35 race cars.
Yeah.
It's starting to get to that point to where it's something bad is going to have to happen for them to stop warning people. We're in the top echelon of late models. People should not get warnings every race or every 3 races for jumping restarts.
Right.
And by jumping restarts, I don't only mean that. I mean the brake checking, the dropping the pace, the popping the clutch. I mean all of that, man.
And it's always it's always the leaders.
Always. And right, like it's always the leaders.
Just to kind of expand to the listeners, like it's when we're talking about the games being played, usually the leaders, what they're going to do is, what you're instructed to do is hold pace car speed and then go in the box. But a lot of times there's some games played to mess with the guy on your outside a little bit, which is fair. But like, we are talking to the point where we're jumping 10 to 15 mile an hour up at like speed, jump, like a bunch of little fakes and pump fakes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, pump fakes.
Basically, a bunch of pump fakes, and all these pump fakes do is create accordion effects and knock the shit out of radiators from about 15th on back. It's bad. I can attest. Believe me, I know a lot about being 15th and behind at Southern National. If they're playing games, it's ugly. So, anyways, keep on going. I mean,
it's just, and look, man, I know people are going to say, well, don't be back there. And you're trying to win a car store race. I understand that. I get it. God knows if I'm on the front row and I'm 10 to go in my car store race, best believe I'm going to try to get every edge I can.
Right.
But I'm not going to slow us down from 35 to 20 and then pick us back up and fire. Yeah. I feel like that is a little extreme.
Yeah.
That is how race cars get tore up. There's way too much money invested, and God knows way too much time invested from our families, from our friends every week to prepare these race cars.
Yeah. So basically you're thinking like it would be better if instead of it calling or getting a free redo for sitting there and doing a bunch of pump fakes and causing a stack up and causing yourself to miss a shift or whatever it is, it'd be better off just go ahead. No free redos. It's like you have to, there's got to be a way to analyze what caused the restart to go bad, I guess. A little
agree.
bit easier. It's hard in late model racing because we don't want to get computers and replays and all that bullshit involved all the time, because all that does is slow down the process. But there is a difference in just a genuine restart mistake, somebody fired earlier or whatever, and it doesn't cause, or you're just trying to get all you can get, and the guy in second, that would suck on the initial start of the race to lose all your spots and go to the rear. So it doesn't need to be a zero tolerance thing, I don't think.
No.
But there's a difference. There should be some type of judge maybe to maybe it's too much. I mean, I don't think it's too much on someone to just say, man, that's bullshit. If he's going to do restarts like that, he's going to the rear. Let him know before the race. If you do a shitty restart like that, you're going to the rear.
You're going to the rear.
I don't know. And maybe, it's maybe not as big of a problem right now. Maybe you give it a couple races and see where it goes. But if it keeps getting, there's a couple of tracks coming up that you're going to figure out if there's restart games, especially at New River coming up. But before we jump too much more into that, I guess, keep on going through some stats here. Actually, qualifying wise, let's start off with qualifying. Qualifying times, were they the same as last year with these tires versus old tires?
Hell no.
How are the times different? How much different?
Them boys up front, top three ran 30s, man, and nobody thought that was coming.
Right. What was the pole last year? You remember?
45 and quaffle. So I mean, people though thought, just keep in mind we showed up Sunday, no practice, just roll to tech, roll to qualify.
Right.
And I remember I was kind of a late draw, and Andrew was right behind me. And man, when I saw whoever, I forget who it was that ran the first 30, it was before Chad. It was Cruz.
Yeah.
It was,
and it was like a 36 or 30, whatever he ran, and I was like, holy shit! Like, I was like, if I go out here and run a 50, I'm gonna be hauling the mail. So I know I ain't got no 30 in me, and we ran a 70 something. So yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy for sure.
Yeah, there was 4 guys in the 30s actually, and then 3 guys in the 40s. So so speed picked up a little bit. Do you think that's all tires? Do you think it's a track a little bit? What do you think that is? Or just at this point, is it just a guess? I guess, or
because I'm thinking, I mean, the track was green.
Yeah,
the track was green, so realistically, it shouldn't have been that fast.
Right.
I know I blew a motor Friday and got 5 laps of practice, so I was hoping to just make the show at that point.
Right.
And I went out and run a 61, and I felt like, that was for what me and Torp had went through that weekend. I think that was a huge testament to us and just how much we fight. But dude, when he run that 30, I come over to the radio and I was like, hey boys, if I run a 70, we're gonna thank God and be grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, we run a 60, and I told them straight up, I was like, man, it's got to be the tire. It's got to be. I think this tire's a little bit faster, and the fall off to me was better. So that's something to look forward to.
Right. So you're saying it don't fall off as much?
Not as much. No. Okay. Usually, like when we plateau with a tire, it drops harsh. Mm-hmm. This one kind of fell off a little earlier, but the drop was less harsh, and you could push a little bit harder when you need. Don't get me wrong, you could still roast the right rear off of it. Yeah. But you could go a little harder if you needed to, and I loved it.
Okay, well that's interesting to hear. That's kind of been my most that's been my biggest question, I guess, throughout this whole week, has been like how that tire did and all that, because it's the first time we've been on a new compound in a while, I guess, since they switched over to Hoosier. So other than that, so qualifying was really fast. Chad McCumbee on the pole. Other than that, it was a pretty you had a good lap there, Andrew, qualifying 14th, obviously. No super big standouts up towards the front of the field or anything, but obviously a few guys got sent home that was big standouts that we weren't expecting, like Landon Huffman, Stephen Nassy. Definitely wasn't expecting Steven or Landon to go home.
Crazy.
Which Landon, I think, obviously had a major issue with his car, because he's not half a second slower than the next slowest car, that's for sure. So, talking about the guy that won the most highest paying race last year, if this don't show you what the damn car story is, then nothing does. So, I know how that sucks. It's a shitty situation for sure to get sent home. I've been there. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things that you just, you bounce back from, and those guys are obviously, I'm sure they're not too worried about it. They'll bounce right back. And then let's see, who else got sent home? Cody Dempster, and was it Buddy Isles that got sent home, or
No,
He
did he
got
make?
Jonathan
Okay.
Finley, yeah.
Oh, Finley got sent home. Oh, he got, so Buddy got the provisional, and
which was
Jacob.
weird, honestly. Finley had a very good long run car.
Yeah.
I guess going early hurt him, but you can't really say that because Chad was what, top 12 out, probably somewhere in there, 14.
Right.
Or was he a
Something
little
like
late?
that, yeah. Something
Either
like that, yeah.
Laid down a hell of a lap, so you can't necessarily say it was right.
I'm pretty sure Cruz was in like the top 8.
That's kind of what I didn't want to be wrong. So yeah,
Top 8 as far as cars out.
Finley ran the same exact lap both laps. Oh no, he didn't. Never mind. Sorry.
I was about to say, man, that's impressive.
I was looking at lap 2 and fast lap. Good job, big time auto racing.
Good job.
So that was a fake news. Anyways, it's tough, man. It's this series is really hard. I know you guys can obviously attest for how hard it is to even make the show. So like, you know, it's no easy feat to even get in the race. So obviously those guys are going to be working their ass off to get into the next one, because I've been in that same position last year. So that's 34 good race cars. I know only 30 of them raced, but you know, it's one of those deals. Yeah. So moving forward, going into the race, obviously eventual winner Carson Quaffle took the lead on lap 91. There's a little bit of melees that happened there. I'll just let you guys expand on that once we get into the recap. But I think there was a total of 5 cautions you counted, Brandon, total.
Yep.
With 2 of those being, there's a total of 5 shitty cooler cautions, which was awesome to hear on the broadcast. Every time I hear Eric or Blake say shitty coolers, shitty coolers caution, that made me laugh every time. I don't know why, but I love it. It's a great sponsor, one of the greatest.
Because we're like
sponsors
5-year-old.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like how cool of a sponsor that is. Anyway, Brandon, you started 27th. You had some work to do. I know you've had some experience at this track. You've made some passes here. How'd it go for you?
Yeah, well, just touching back on I mean, I was a little nervous when I came off of 2 and it killed the car off. I was waiting on my spotter to tell me what we ran, and I almost made it back to pit road before he told me. So normally that means not too great, and I think he was waiting between signal and a few other things to see what that meant, because obviously Andrew was still behind me to go out. And Andrew, was somebody behind you, or were you the last car?
There was one more behind me, I believe.
So we were sweating bullets, and so kind of because being that I changed teams, I didn't have any points to go off of. That's a topic probably for another day. I had actually wrote that down, Dylan, for you and I to talk about. And I mean, it obviously involves Andrew as well, but not to get too caught up in that. Like I said, I wasn't going to have any points to fall back on, so it was either me time in or I was going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting 27th, obviously wish we could have been a little closer, but, you know, I kind of, to some people, it probably looks like I rode. I rode, but I didn't do the, like, drop anchor and ride 4 to 8 car lengths ahead of the leader and try to just stay far enough not to go a lap down.
Right.
I rode, but staying at the tail end of the field, like staying with that group of cars that was back there. There was about 10 of us. And so, you know, definitely had our work cut out for us, but kind of just wanted to settle in, see how the car felt, knowing we were going to probably try to stay back there, barring any kind of crazy, you know, big wreck or something happening in that first 40, and pit if we felt like we needed to. And, you know, I pushed it. I would lay off the guys and make a hard run for like 3 laps, just seeing how the car felt. And I told Justin and the guys, you know, that I didn't think we needed to pit. The car felt really good, and, you know, I felt like we were going to be able to go forward. And so, we got lucky. A couple guys pitted at the end of that first segment, so we gained a few spots. But then we went to work, and like I said, we drove from the mid-20s to 13th, and then had that restart game, stacked us all up. We lined them up, went again, and then that was when chaos ensued. So we got turned around. Lane didn't get checked up, and it was just kind of a big mess. So came in, guys worked their asses off. Car was pretty tore up. Front end was dragging. Ductwork was basically knocked out of it. And they got her patched up best we could. And we restarted 26th or 27th and drove to 16th. So we turned chicken shit into chicken salad.
Hell yeah. Well, you know, definitely not I know 16th ain't the goal you had, but you passed a lot of cars for sure, and
yeah,
still got a race car to work with for sure, and had a lot of speed. It seemed like. I think you guys were definitely fast. Maybe didn't have the qualifying speed you wanted, but looked good on the long run. Looked good race pace wise. So I think 16th is a good day for you. Andrew, your day ended a little bit on the shitty side, to be
For
honest.
sure.
You know, not the day you.
Side.
I was. Me and Allie was damn pissed off for you.
I was mad too, brother.
For
it
sure.
Hurt,
I hated seeing you on the damn hook or whatever, but it was not the way I wanted to see it start off. But you did do a lot of racing, you know. That was exciting, at least going into it. And then you had a, you know, how'd you feel though? You had a good qualifying run and all that to start the year. So let's start with the positives.
Qualifying, yeah, huge. I mean, it was honestly, man, we blew that motor Friday with 0 practice, and when we had tested there 2 weeks before. So, and I felt pretty good heading into there. We went out the first round on old tires. I ran 10 laps, which you kind of get a feel for what you've got a little bit, but you don't really know what you've got. It's kind of subliminal. It's a weird thing to try to explain. And I was comfortable going into qualifying. Honestly, man, I wasn't worried. It was it was honestly kind of bizarre, man. You know, Dylon, you know, last year me and you struggled, and I think that was kind of one of the things I was doing, was putting so much stress on myself and not enjoying the moment. You know what I mean?
I agree with that 100%, dude.
Exactly.
1000%.
It was nice. I got in the car, listened to the times. I heard McCumbee run a 30, and I was like, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Just let me get just let me get in the show. That's all I need. And I run a 60, and I was happy with that. And I thought heading into the race we would be a top 15 car. I was hoping. We went green, man, and I got up to 8th, and I was still riding. I mean, I was racing Bobby and Butterbean, and anytime, no matter where you are and you're near those guys, you're having a good day.
Right.
No matter where we go, you're having a good day.
Right.
So I felt like we legitimately had a top 5 car. Restarts came and the games began being played. And, you know, something to touch, like Brandon said, it's going to happen no matter where we go. Things are going to happen. It's going to be games played. It's just, to what extent do we allow it to happen?
Right.
Was I a byproduct of the restart games? I would like to say no, but some of that is yes. I would honestly say that, to be just completely blunt. Yes, some of that is because of that. Second part of it was, could I have went right? The kid could have went left. Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, race cars got tore up. My stuff got really tore up. And a bunch of people behind me got tore up. And that's never a good day. But car was good. And I'm really excited to head back. And we'll get ready to go on to Jacksonville.
Yeah, you said you had some Grady faithful come up. When you sitting up there at first, I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. When I seen you, you know, when your car is sitting there tore up, I mean, you have to know this, right? When your car's sitting there tore up and your fucking window net comes down, and you get out, people are watching. Like they don't know what's. I mean, like, you did great. I'm proud of you. I think you did an awesome job handling it, and was, you know, talking to people and all that, and you know. And I think, you know, got your window net down, all that, did the stuff the right way. But people were definitely, I would say the heart rate went up for a few people whenever they seen a camera on your car tore up and you climbing out.
Are you teasing the people that you may have been one of those, DW?
No, I was definitely excited. I was like, oh, shit. Me and Allie was dead. I didn't, you know, obviously the cameras didn't get the wreck, so I didn't know what happened. I just seen Andrew tore up, so I'm like, what the hell happened? Because, you know, literally, I don't think any of them picked it up. So the broadcast kind of missed it. I just seen the tail end of it. Yeah, me and Allie, I seen his car tore up. I seen both ends tore up. Usually that tells me that means you got turned or something like that. It was just a weird. It was weird the way your car was tore up. So I'm like, oh my god, it looks like he got dumped or something. Something happened. Yeah. He's pissed off. Look at him. He's already threw his window net down. But you got out and he's pretty calm. So you did good.
Yeah, that's why I sat in the car for 2.5 minutes. Yeah, man. I was pretty pissed off when it first happened, and I was trying to run through my mind what happened. And you guys know this: when you're at Southern National and you're on the banking, you think you're in one spot, kind of, and you're not. And I thought the kid went on the apron, and I've watched that video 100 times. Josh was in the corner, and he got a video of it, and. Did I pinch him down? Hell yeah, I pinched him down. It's what you're supposed to do. I mean, it's what you're taught to do. It's one of the first things you learn in racing is when a guy's trying to get a position on you, you pinch his ass down so he can't get drive off.
Yeah.
Did I expect to get doored? Yeah, of course I did. We're the cars tour. We're racing like hell for it. Did I expect to get my left rear run over in the process? No, I did not.
Right.
So that's why I was upset with him, man. That's why my anger showed a little bit in my interviews, man. I just felt like, was it kind of a racing deal? Yeah. But in the same breath, he could have just doored me and knocked me up the racetrack. And I understand he's a rookie, but you're in the car store, bud. You're racing with the best. You know, if it had been me or you or Brandon right there, y'all would have knocked my ass up the racetrack. I'd have lost 5 spots, but we'd have been right at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I know, and once again, I know he's a rookie, but he's got to learn that if you're going to move somebody, buddy, you got to do it right. Because if not, we tear up race cars.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm sure that's, it's part of the learning process or whatever. And, there's obviously he's in a fast, good race car, so he'll probably be around him more. And he seems like a good kid, a good driver. I think, I wouldn't label it as a total dickhead move, but it definitely is one of those deals where it sucks because, I don't know. It's not a race, like you said, it's not a racing deal, but it kind of is. But it's a racing deal, but it's also like, what the hell, we could have avoided it, but
exactly,
at the end of the day,
that's where I was with it.
But it's good. You did a good job handling it and all that afterwards, and that shows that, see, even all of us can grow up, we're showing maturity, and we'll get our licks in if need be, right? But if
it
most of the time we'll choose happiness most of the time. We can do that too. But yeah, so anyways, ended up not with the finish you wanted, obviously, but on the bright side, you got New River coming up, and that is your old man's old stomping grounds, and you have led some laps there before. I know that's one of your favorite tracks, maybe besides Wake County, so at least to go to on the tour. So, so what's your thoughts going into New River, man? How you feel about that?
Like, everybody will tell you that runs this racetrack or has, it's a weird racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
You come up the front straightaway, you go up a roller coaster, you float it 85 feet to the wall, and you turn down. It's not like most racetracks where you're constantly protecting the bottom. Don't get me wrong, now you protect the bottom, but if we're riding, man, everybody just kind of hangs out, does their job, and just rides, man. It's abrasive. It's worse than Southern National, but it's not as bad as Langley.
Right.
So you definitely have got to be mindful of that tire. Like, it'll take it for 20 laps, but if you go 20 hard laps on lap 85, you're going to be getting passed on both sides, left and right, because you have no tire left. It's weird, but I love it, man. It's like my dad calls it, it's the elbow of the world. It turns left to go right. It's weird, man.
Yeah, it's a very odd track, and I figured it out firsthand how weird it was, and looking back on it, it's one of my favorite ones. It was one of my favorites of the year to just make laps at. I think I've said that multiple times now, but it's a fun track to just drive. I didn't figure it out the first practice session I ran. I think I ran probably 10 laps, and I was way off. And I was like, this can't be right. And then I guess I finally figured out where the wall was. I guess because it doesn't, the turn feels like it starts really early, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're higher than you are until somebody shows you a video and you're like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah. Right. It worked out better for me when I started thinking of it less like a tri-oval and more like Concord or some shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Treat it, race that place like Phoenix or Concord, or you know what I mean, some tri-shaped track, something that a wacky track like that. That's essentially how it feels to race because of how you exit the corner off of 4, the way you point. I wish I would like to run that race just because it's a cool racetrack, but we got other duties. But it's definitely a fun one. I would urge people to go down there to it. I mean, me and Brandon will have an episode next week kind of covering that whole racetrack, and we'll expand more on it, so I don't want to dig too much into it. But your old man, he ran there too, right?
Yeah, he was really good there. He ran 21 races and won 18 of them, and one of them being the Bailey's race. I don't know if y'all remember them, the Bailey's races, when Timothy Peters and Jay Love drove for all of them. He was the only non-Bailey's car to win a Bailey's race that year. So that's kind of always been a special place for us. And every time we go back to it, he's always excited because he thinks that he can tell me what to do behind the wheel. Yeah. And it's, it's fun, man. It's actually really nice to have somebody who has that experience in big situations to lean on. It really does help, to be honest.
Yeah, that's really cool. Would you consider that your home track these days?
No, so this is the weird part of it. I would consider probably Southern National to it, or man, it's hard because I grew up going to Southern National, but I started at Wake County.
Right.
It's a very awkward place, but so I'm a Wake Kinley guy. You know what I mean? Both of them.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a few Wake Kinley guys out there. Oh, we've lost him.
Oh Lord.
Freeze.
Pause.
You freeze too. That way nobody knows he's froze. Maybe he'll come back. I don't know if he's coming back. So Andrew's a Wake Kinley guy. That's kind of his mantra. And Brandon has that same issue. He hasn't exactly chosen his path yet on his home track. He's kind of in between 3 or 4 of them.
Well, we go there this year, boys, so I'll be able to solely call
we got another one on the damn schedule now. We got damn Orange County.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know. We got Orange County. We got Ace. We got Caraway. We got Martinsville on NASCAR schedule. And what else? What's the other? Isn't there one more, or is that it?
I don't claim Ace because that place hates me.
It's close, though. You said at one point you're like, it's kind of a home track because it's the closest one or whatever. So, yeah it's been a running joke on the show. You guys have a lot of home tracks. I'm sort of in the same category now, technically, since...
Yeah, I mean, you've got
Tri-County,
Hicory.
I mean, my home track is Hicory, because it's the only local track. Tri-County is closer, kind of, to me, sort of, but I don't, it's not a... I haven't raced there a lot, and then Wilkesboro is not a local track, so I can't really claim it as my home track.
Wake.
Yeah, Wake is just my favorite track.
And you ran it a good amount.
Yeah, I think home track is the track that is A, closest to you, and B, the one you've raced the most. Not necessarily the one you raced first, but the one you've raced the most. Like, if you could pick a track to call home, what is it? I just had, or you feel like, or you can't pick just which one it is. For me, it's Hicory. Is my definite home track. I feel like that's what I would claim. But
for sure,
for you, it's.
For me, it's Sobo if we're going by laps and races.
So now it's Martinsville, Sobo.
No,
we added another one. That's the other. I've messed with them since last year on this topic. Anyways, So Chad McCumbee had a mechanical failure, which has been it's his bad luck is unbelievable. It's pretty crazy. So how many is this? I mean, you guys have raced with him way longer. I mean, I only did it for 1 year, and I've seen a couple, I guess. But there was it's been a theme for a few years.
For sure. To my knowledge, that made the 4th race where it was brakes.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. So.
Wonder what kind of brakes fella runs. Might ought to.
Dude, I don't know, but they need to look into getting some different brakes.
Yeah, something.
Dude, because he's been leading. He's been running second. He's been in the top 5. And damn near every race something breaks. Yeah. He's been running top 5, if not leading.
Yeah, that sucks.
Dude, I would hire a priest at this point.
Yeah. Yeah,
some demons need to be exercised or something, man. I feel bad for Dad. Dude, such a super nice guy. One of my favorite guys on the tour. I mean, if you don't like Chad, there's something wrong with you. I
agree.
Yeah, he's that's crazy. Again, and where did he end up finishing? 26. So not a great day after being probably the fastest car all week, and then and probably had a good shot at winning. So tough to see that. It wasn't, not that it, I mean, this sounds shitty. Not that it wasn't surprise. I mean, like, you had that bad feeling. Like, usually something goes wrong for Chad. Like, we want to see him win, right? Like, we want to see that monkey off his back. But people had that feeling like, well, hopefully nothing happens, But, yep, sure enough, that sucks.
And then they're like, McCumbee slow on the bottom, and I went by him, and I was like,
oh, no, yeah.
Yep, it is.
I know, I heard that, and I'm like,
horrible.
No, surely not.
Surely not.
Yeah, that shit sucks. Sucks for him. Anyway, man, we just talked about something that I thought was pretty funny. You said you are banned on iRacing, and we are hoping to get that reversed at some point in our career. You said you got shitted by somebody at one point.
Yeah, so the like little 8-week late model and super standings that you run. I was leading both of them, and the same guy was running second in both standings. We had 2 races left. Well, he jumped me on lap 1 in the final 2 races. And for like the next 3 weeks, anytime I was near this guy, lap 1 didn't matter. I'm junking him.
Yep.
And I got banned because I didn't really realize that there were so many bitches on iRacing. But you know how it is, man. You race with these guys enough, and they junk you. And you them, they report you. And I didn't fully understand that at the time.
Yep.
And he reported me, and I guess iRacing felt it was deemable to ban me, and I'm still unbanned. But if Connor Jones is still running iRacing, God knows. God knows. But I've tried, man. I've emailed them. I've sent them Morse code, everything.
Yeah.
They just
maybe this can be our formal request to try to get Andrew Grady back on iRacing.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. It was a heat of the moment thing. Yeah. I apologize. I used iRacing to help me. I've run top 10 at Langley twice we went, and I honestly credit that to iRacing.
Yeah. First of all, the car store cars are on the game now, and you're in a car, you drive in the car store, so he should automatically get a pass from that. He got wrecked, and he almost won a steering wheel and stuff, and he was just getting his revenge. There ain't nothing wrong with that. He didn't realize he got banned for that. How long ago was that, Andrew?
Bud, that was the beginning of last year.
Okay, so it's probably been a while. Yeah, I'd say you've learned your lesson by now, huh?
For sure,
yeah,
I won't.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're looking to get a beer lead started eventually. I did post some. You posted a picture of me absolutely shipping the AI version of yourself. Me and Brandon was doing some practice racing, and we had the AI car set of the car store, and there was an Andrew Grady in there, and I said, "Looky here. I'm gonna wreck the shit out of him and send him." I literally said that, and sure enough, next thing you know, there's a caution out, and I'm sending a picture to you. So, and then you posted that. Yeah, and then everybody's asking if we have a league and what's this and that, and I'm like, I do want to get a league started.
I'm in.
And when I do, most people probably won't know about it because I ain't gonna tell anybody. But if you want to race, you don't know. Anyways, so that was fun, man. I'm glad you came on, Andrew. We got to get you back on here again.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'd love to be a guest driver every 2-3 weeks or something, man. We always vibe really good. We miss you at the track, Dylon. Hope to see you soon. Yeah. Hope everything goes good with the birth of the baby boy, and hopefully see you soon, brother.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. I'll be there before you know it, probably Wilkesboro or whatever. So we'll be around, and again, thanks for coming on. We're going to do episodes every week, so we're going to have to fill some gaps. There'll be times we'll love to have you call in, and maybe there'll be times where now that you know how Discord and all that works, we'll just call in, get your opinion on some things. We'll switch over to this 3-person view, just get your idea on the topic, and then we'll keep going. That way you can just be a frequent guest and give us
awesome.
Because people I'm sure they're gonna love to hear what you think about some of these things.
Oh yeah, the 98% will love it, and 2% might hate it. No, I got that backwards. Yeah, I definitely got that babackwards.
It's all right. Either way you look at it, 98% of the time we're pretty damn good.
That's right.
Right.
Anyways, guys, I appreciate everyone listening again. Be sure to rate and like and all that good stuff and share it. It helps us out a lot. Be sure to keep following along with the car store this year. They go to New River for the next one. Next week we'll be back with another episode, shooting for Wednesday to get out and preview that race, and me and Brandon will kind of run down everything about that track and get you guys up to speed on it. So anyways, appreciate you guys again for tuning in. Remember to go visit a local short track this weekend or watch something on TV.